Hello, welcome. Thanks for tuning in, whether you're listening, watching, hearing, seeing, bothing, whatever it is. Welcome to the show. If we haven't met, I'm Karen Mayer, Cunningham Special Education Boss, training everyone that sits at the 504 IEP table to navigate and negotiate successful student outcomes. So we're wrapping up June. Can you guys believe that it's almost halfway through the year? Can you believe that? So if you guys have questions, put them below. If you have specific questions that you want to ask our team, there's an orange cart below, and we'll keep talking about it. And that message goes directly to our office. So welcome back. Was that a song? Am I too old, Cindy? Do you remember that song? Welcome
back, Carter.
Thank you. Welcome back, Carter. And we don't mean Jimmy. All right. First question.
First question. Always. They come through. When is the next live?
The next live is right now.
Fantastic.
I feel like it's live. I feel live now.
You are live.
Can you? Would you be opposed? Would you be opposed to asking a more specific question?
I would not be opposed to that. I would be amenable to that.
Okay.
When would be the next 2-day live intensive course?
So it is July 19th and 20th. I hope that's correct. The third weekend in July. It'll be just about an hour outside of Orlando, Florida, and Melbourne, and we cannot wait to see you there in person. But we do also have an exciting summer sale. Do you want to ask me about that, Cindy?
I do want to ask about the exciting summer sale.
Yeah.
Because you have so many people that want to do wonderful things. What can you tell us about it?
About the exciting summer sale?
Yes.
So we are putting our products at a 50% discount, all of our digital products. So today, June 23rd through June 30th, that's it, just for these 8 days. All you need to do is email us at advocate@specialeducationacademy.com. We are promoting our friend's book, Wealthy and Well Known. All you need to do is download that free Audible book, send us a screenshot, and we will get you a coupon on any one digital product on our website or any one purchase bundle in our website. So all of you who have been wanting to do the 2-day, it will be half off. Any of our digital products, our training to fill out a federal complaint, a state complaint, evaluation. So this 8-day window, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend.
That is spectacular.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, we like spectacular.
Yes. I am a special education resource teacher. And I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on IEP goals?
My thoughts on IEP goals, which is one of our trainings that you could take with our super special coupon. We have a training on IEP goals, but an IEP goal is to work on an identified deficit that is captured in the present levels for the student with a disability to enable them to make progress in light of their unique circumstances.
That is wonderful. And I know you have a special friend who tells all about writing IEP goals. Who is that?
I do have a special friend, Dr. Mitchell Yell. Is that who you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Dr. Mitchell Yell is amazing. He has an amazing book on writing IEP goals, and that is on our Advocate bookshelf. So if you go to Special Education Academy and go to bookshelf, all of our resources are there, including this great little book called IDEA. Say it with me. The Individual with Disabilities Education Act. And I'm sure that you and your school district have memorized this book. I'm sure you've tested on this book. I'm sure you've differentiated this book. You've probably made a bulletin board out of this book. Probably there are giveaways at your local football games, right? Right? Is this like, if you get season tickets to the football games, you get one of these so you could read this in the stands? Is that what y'all do, Cindy?
I would definitely be at that football game.
Yeah, I'd be at that football game.
Absolutely. I need to order another one. Mine's getting a little worn.
Is it tatted?
Yes,
Yeah.
It is.
In all your years in a school district, Cindy, and 27 years in a school district, how many times did you see that book? Say it with me.
Never.
Never. Wow. Well, let's see. They didn't know about it?
They did not know about it.
No, they didn't know about it. Yeah.
They didn't know about it.
Yeah, if you add a D on the end, that makes it okay to break the law. I didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know.
Is it legal to use inclusion teachers as general education subs?
inclusion teachers as general education subs. I assume if the general education teacher sub opening was available during a block that they weren't inclusioning, yes. If they're general ed teachers, there are inclusion staff that are not general ed teachers.
My son is struggling in reading. I really want him to have the reading specialist. Can I make this happen?
Maybe, but you're not going to make it happen that way. The way we get reading support is we go to the committee and say, my student has a reading deficit. This is the type of intervention he needs. When you ask for somebody specific, it might be, you may not get the staff member that you're wanting.
My son's scores were terrible. I believe he should be SLD. My district said he would qualify and be eligible, but they still need to collect 6 to 8 weeks of data collection to prove that their intervention wouldn't work.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
Fake news. Fake news. Disinformation, misinformation, lying. You pick the one that's more palatable for you. That is complete baloney sauce. In this book, this great book that's been around since December 2nd, 1975, Child Find says this, 300.111. The LEA, the local education agency, is charged with identifying, locating, and evaluating children with suspected disabilities who may be in need of special education-related services. It doesn't say taking data on other interventions before we test for special education, my lord. So a lot of you guys are asking about the 50% off code. So if you just shoot us a message in the orange cart there, we will email you back. All you have to do is download. Our friend has just come out with an Audible book, A Wealthy and Well-Known, about building your brand online. We want you guys to all have that. And when you get that, you'll also get a coupon to get 50% off of any of our digital products through June 30th, including the 2-day intensive. Is that fantastico, Cindy?
That is fantastico.
Yeah, heavy on the O.
Yes. Someone asked, where do they go to see what are part of the bundles?
So if you go to our website, we have all of those digital products. So you could buy one digital product with your 50% coupon. You could buy every one of them. It would be a one-time purchase. Go to Special Education Academy. You can see all of our digital products there.
How do you advocate in a professional manner with administration if goals are not properly written?
Yeah, so we just say, based upon, well, first of all, before we get to goals, we have to make sure that we have a pristine, prescriptive, puffy present levels. The present levels of academic achievement and functional performance are often pitiful in the draft. So during that meeting, we're fortifying the present levels, making sure that we have input from all the teachers, service providers, so that we can identify any known deficits, and those known deficits that exist in the present levels, we then write IEP goals around it. So it's not about being professional. We're working as a team to make sure all of the components of the IEP are correct, which is why we're so excited about our book that's coming out at the beginning of next year, that it's going to change all of your lives. When I say all, I mean all. So somebody asked about what this book is. So this is on our bookshelf at Special Education Academy. Again, if you have any specific questions, just click the orange cart below and that will send us a direct message. But this is IDEA. This is Part B. IDEA has Part A, B, C, and D. Part B is Special Education. So this is the book that you need. I think it's $30. And then you would know what the federal statutes are. So you can be an amazing teacher, special education teacher, prepared parent, prepared principal, all of the things.
Oh, someone wants to know more about the new app.
Oh, the app. Oh, the app is so amazing. So just go to your app store. You just get in your car, you drive to the app store, you park. There's lots of parking at the app store. Never have to wait. You go in and you download Special Education Academy, and everything special ed will be in the palm of your hand.
Excellent. Are you familiar with the program called Unstuck and on Target?
No, ma'am. No, sir. No, ma'am.
All right.
It sounds good, though. I could have given it to my first husband. He was definitely stuck and not on target. But I'm bummed. But now he's stuck and unstuck with a new wife. Because women, we love a project, don't we? We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes projects can't be completed, though.
Yes, especially if they're your brother's closets. So that's a training for another day.
Ruth.
Yes, dust bunnies forever.
Yes, they're in my nightmares. Is it normal for the school to call home 4+ times a day for help with behaviors of a child?
Is it normal? I don't know that it's successful. So certainly, as parents, we're happy to help the school in any way possible, but we're not there, and we're not in that setting, and we're not requiring those expectations of our child. So certainly, let's call an IEP meeting and look at all the players and see if we can get a system together that serves the student.
How would I go about getting the school to approve OT for distressed tolerance?
I don't know what that is. Distressed tolerance. I don't know what that is. So occupational therapy in a public school setting is going to be sensory, cutting, stapling, buttoning. Not sure that I've ever heard of that phrase.
Attendance issues are rising. Is there a legal code for making up absent student services?
No, if a student isn't available during the service time, then the district has no onus to redeliver them. So somebody said that my husband is doing nothing wrong and I'm terrible. Do we agree with that? We voted. We disagree with you, dear. Sorry. Yeah, you haven't met him. Or maybe you're married to him. I don't know. I could be. Who knows?
Oh, somebody's part of their favorite part of the PLAF is kid is a joy to have in class.
I love that. I love that. I had a PLAF one time, promise you, this was off of a federal complaint. It said, and we asked for the PLAF to be more, populated. And the first line said, the student loves pigs and is good at math. Oh, so there we are. So, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unstuck and on Target is an executive functioning curriculum. It's really good stuff.
Okay. It is?
Yes, and you know who said so? Molly.
Oh, well, thank you, Molly.
Do you have any sample PLAFs that are completed and show all of the components?
I mean, I do have PLAFs that I've written. I have over 500 IEPs that I do annually. I certainly can't disclose those because those are protected for the client. But we go over writing PLAFs in the 2-day intensive. And so from now, June 23rd to June 30th, you could get a 50% coupon on that 2-day intensive that's on demand. So if you just want to send us a message in that little orange box that's at the bottom, we will get you that information of how to get that coupon, or you can send us an email to advocate@specialeducationacademy.com.
The school says they can't do anything for a child with dyslexia. Why might that be? Is it true?
Well, dyslexia is not recognized in the state of Washington. Dyslexia is not recognized in Georgia for some reason. It's a beating to get it in Indiana and Illinois. Did I say that? I did. Yeah.
Let's see. How do I get data throughout the year and not just at the end of the year?
So, I mean, you're going to get progress reports along with every grading period. And certainly if that's not sufficient, you can ask for the team to provide you more data so that you can support your student at home. So somebody said where to ask for the 50% off coupon. Just send us an email to advocate@specialeducationacademy.com or fill out the little orange box in the bottom.
Is it true private school tuition can be paid with a student's IEP?
Not that I have ever heard of.
Fantastic. How do you help parents know they need an evaluation?
Well, you need an evaluation because that's the beginning of special education and related services to identify any known needs.
A unilateral promotion of a student from middle to high school by a principal. It's a 60-page IEP. What would the next steps be?
The next steps be for what? You don't want him promoted to high school?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
If it comes in at the bottom, the name is Tina.
Okay.
Okay. If an IEP school states that a student needs a 3-on-1, how is this the least restrictive environment?
Because that's what he needs to be in public education.
Let's see. Could you send or post them with redactions?
No, that wouldn't be legal either. I mean, the student's document is the student's document. Certainly if you have a friend that has the present levels and they want to provide them to you, but the first thing that we identify in an IEP meeting is everything discussed in this meeting, everything shared, everything read, everything that's part of the student's cumulative folder is confidential.
Somebody's computer glitched, but they heard the word coupon.
Yeah, so if you want to get a 50% off coupon, we're having a summer sale. My dear friends just released a book called Wealthy and Well Known. And when you download that free Audible download and send us a screenshot of it, we will send you a coupon off for any of our digital products from June 23rd through June 30th. It stops June 30th. So you can either just send us a message in the little orange cart below. Probably the quickest way to do it, though, would be to email us at advocate@specialeducationacademy.com and ask for the coupon information.
I just found out that the school speech therapist had to work on 3 goals with my child, but has only worked on 1 since February. They said they did not have to work on all of them at one time. Is that true?
All agreed upon IEP goals in the annual IEP document must be worked on weekly, or must be worked on at the time that the related or instructional service provider sees the student with a disability.
The school pulled our para due to a budget cut, but this is causing major safety concerns. Can they do this? What should my next steps be?
Well, if the para is needed to provide the instruction in the classroom, you have to staff the room. So that has to be done. So you need to report that to leadership, and certainly a parent needs to reach out to the district or file a state complaint.
Fantastic. Oh, Tina gave us a little bit more information. Okay. It said multiple disabilities on an IEP. A packet was sent to the county for review, and it was ignored. And then there was a promotion without a meeting.
Yeah, so kids are either promoted to the next grade, which you don't need a meeting for that, or they're placed. So almost all kids at the end of the year are promoted to the next grade. So if there was a need to place the student, then that would certainly require a meeting.
Mary wants to download the book. Where can she do that?
The book.
Wealthy.
Oh, yeah, so just send us an email. We'll get you the download. The email is audible. Oh my gosh, America. I've only had 7 pots of coffee. Our email is advocate@specialeducationacademy.com, advocate@specialeducation.com, or you can there's an orange box below on one of the sides. Just fill that out. That goes to our office.
What resources do you recommend for someone stepping into a new role as the school's DPT?
This. If you don't have this book, I don't know what you're doing in special education. I don't know how you could even begin to be resourced. So this is in our bookstore. So just go to Special Education Academy. It's on our bookshelf, and it'll be sent to you right away. This is a book of requirements, not a book of suggestions. So this is 34 CFR, the Federal Registry of Special Education Part B, which is where IDEA lives. And so get this book at specialeducationacademy.com so that you know what your obligations, duties, and responsibilities are under IDEA.
I am upset that my child's testing doesn't reflect her actual educational levels. Why is this?
Well, you have to realize that testing is done by strangers. It's a snapshot in time, and it falls within the perimeters and the boundaries and the protocols of that assessment. So they have limitations. Those pieces are timed. They have different. If they ask your child a question and your child answered in 31 seconds, but the protocol said 30 seconds, then they couldn't give you credit for that. So that's the limitations of formalized assessments.
when is your next virtual 2-day live intensive?
So we don't have a scheduled virtual live 2-day intensive right now. And we do have the on-demand that's always available that you can get 50% off between June 23rd and June 30th. If you send us an email to advocate@specialeducationacademy, we'll give you the steps to do that.
How do you deal with autistic kids who have seizures? There's never enough resources in our room.
Well, a seizure could be an eligibility, but that's a medical condition. So if the student has the medical condition of seizures, you want to make sure that you have an IHP, an individualized healthcare plan, and that's current, that you have the appropriate, emergency medications and protocols in place. So do that.
What main things should we look for in picking a school for a child with autism?
One that meets your needs. The problem with schools, when you talk about picking a school, if you're talking about private schools have limitations, and of course they're not legally required to follow IEPs, although they do a very good job at doing their best to support kids. When you're picking a public school, I could tell you some of the most amazing public schools and systems and programs and teachers and leadership, but I don't know that they'll be there in August. So, schools are as good as their special education departments.
Okay, we have 2 questions on the same line.
Okay.
My daughter has a diagnosis of anxiety, severe anxiety, lots of issues with test taking. What can I specifically ask for on her 504? No one seems to notice, and I don't know what I don't know. If
your daughter has severe anxiety, she should be tested for special education. So an accommodation is not going to mitigate that. Our job in special education is to teach a child strategies to self-manage their disabilities, but we're not teaching you anything in a 504. So I'm not a fan of 99% of kiddos that are on a 504. I've never, except for maybe once in all of my years of doing this, seen a child that a 504 was sufficient to address the acuity of their disability.
How do you send questions?
Over the airwaves, the interwaves, type them in the box below. We'll answer as many as we can. But if you for sure want to get your questions answered every Monday night, you would join Special Education Academy, where we train live every Monday night, and then I open it up for questions. So go to specialeducationacademy.com and join the academy. There's no contract. You can stay for a month. You can stay for 10 years. We have over 300 hours of past trainings archived there as well.
I am confused. I've heard about the 2-day intensive course, but there are many ways to take this. What are the differences?
Well, one's recorded. One was one that we recorded. It was a 2-day virtual, and we recorded it, so that's available. It's an on-demand, so you can purchase it. You can join a live virtual. We don't have one scheduled right now. And then we have a live in-person, July 19th and 20th in Florida.
Woo woo. Do we get to keep the recordings?
You get to keep the recordings as long as you're on the planet Earth. If you leave planet Earth, we are going to have to take the recording back.
What is the difference between the academy, the 2-day intensive course, and the mastermind?
Sure. So the academy is what everybody needs to be in. It's a weekly professional development every Monday. So we're training in series, and then we open up for questions, anybody's questions. It's a great group of people that we learn and resource from each other every Monday night. The 2-day intensive is for somebody that wants to be the best at the IEP table, whether you're a teacher, an evaluator, a parent, a special educator. And then the mastermind is if you want to become the type of advocate that I am, with the processes and procedures that I do. If you don't want to be like I am, don't join it. But if you want to be an amazing special education advocate that serves families full-time as a living, then join the mastermind. The 2-day intensive is a prerequisite to be in the mastermind. We have one group mastermind starting July 27th. Cindy.
It's going to be so much fun. I love them. where are you based out of?
I'm based out of this chair in my office in Houston, Texas.
I think this is a funny question. What do you do for a living?
What do I do for a living? I'm an international global life changer.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
I'm just over here crushing it. Serving families at the highest level, making sure kids get what they need to be successful adults, gainful employment, further education, and independent living.
User 3847-771-999-7796 wants to know, my school is out of compliance with every child that has speech. How do I hold them accountable? Or is it a case-by-case situation?
If it's a group of children, then you can get an advocate, such as myself, to file on behalf of those students. Awesome.
My district is closing the resource room and puts all the students into an inclusion class. How am I going to fight this?
Well, it's against the law. So when you get rid of resource at a public school, you're getting rid of the federal law. You're getting rid of 300.115. 300.115 is a federal requirement, not a suggestion, which is why the first thing that you need to do is you need to get a copy of this book, because this book it's not optional, okay? So, and then if it's systemic, certainly find an advocate. Myself or one of our team members could file a systemic complaint in your district.
Have you ever seen someone sue a district for not following an IEP, and did they win? And if so, what do you win?
Yes. Stuff. Lots of stuff. So I have represented families in state complaints, in due process hearings, and federal complaints. And I have won settlements from a few hours of services to finances to other interventions to my largest settlement was for 6 years. So what you win is you win something that will remediate the violation and provide relief to the student with the disability to return him back to where he would have been had the violations not occurred. Somebody's asking me about the sale. So we're having a summer sale. Our dear friends have just come out with a book called Wealthy and Well Known. And to support them, we're going to give you a free download of that book. And when you download that book, we will get you a coupon that you can spend in Special Education Academy on any of our digital products, including the 2-day intensive or a bundle of digital products. So if you are interested in that 50% off coupon, just send us an email to advocate@specialeducationacademy.com, advocate@specialeducationacademy.com, or there is a orange box at the bottom. You could just fill that out. That'll send a message straight to our office.
In previous TikToks, you said there were over 400 plus hours of training. Where is this? How can I find it?
It's in Special Education Academy. So when you join the academy, we go live every Monday night for at least an hour. It's more than an hour. It's way more than an hour. So in the dashboard, or what do they have? In your membership, all the recordings that we've done since May of 2021 are there.
And they are fabulous.
They are fabulous. I have a lot of I had some days that my hair was not, we were non-consensus, but the content is amazing. Right? Sometimes my bangs were like, what you doing? Where you at? Mm-hmm.
My child elopes and has autism. Does that usually qualify for an IEP? I am struggling with the school right now.
That would assume that I would qualify you for an IEP. You have a behavioral need that impacts your learning and the learning of others.
Do you think it's time for a new set of special education regulations?
Nope. I think it's time to enforce the one we got. So we're going back to the Capitol July 13th through the 16th. If you'd like to stop by the Capitol and see us, I'm sure we can do a meet and greet right on the steps. Rachel's setting that up, right? She's the meet and greet girl, right? So I just went and met with one of our state senators last Friday, and we're working on 2 bills for the state of Texas. So we're just going to keep running it up the flagpole till we get it right, get it better, and get it to serve kids with disabilities.
I want to become an advocate. What is the process to become an advocate like you?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously join Special Education Academy, which is, our professional development that we have every Monday night. And then look at doing the 2-day intensive. We have it on demand, so you could invest in it now. You can watch it at your own pace. You could listen to it 100 times. After the 2-day, you're ready to be an advocate.
My child was supposed to have a co-teacher last school year. I just found out that they walked out after the 3rd week of school. Am I supposed to do something about this?
If you want it remediated, if you want your students' services that were denied remediated, you would need to file. Somebody said, can I recommend any advocates in North Carolina? So we advocate nationally. We have a team of, there's 7 of us, and we advocate from the Kodiak Islands to Miami-Dade County to, Washington, North Carolina to San Diego. So all IEPs are done via Zoom. So all of our advocates are trained to serve families anywhere.
Future school psychologist here. Any advice on how I can better serve the special education community?
Yeah, I mean, just keep the focus on the child that you're serving at the time, and thank you for serving kids.
Let's see. How many people take clients? I think they're asking how many people are on your team.
So there's 7 of us on our team, and we all take clients.
Next steps when an IEP team members continue to disagree because student keeps failing.
You can file a state complaint. Yeah. Oh, thanks, you guys. We appreciate you. If you're wanting the link for the coupon and the download the book, one of 2 things. Either send us an email at advocate@specialeducationacademy.com, or there's an orange box. You can just fill it out, and it will send us a direct message.
That's such a pretty orange box with a white arrow.
Is it? It has a white arrow. I love a good white arrow.
As it's sending their request. And underneath it, it says service.
Yeah, so the little box that says we'd like to send you service information.
What can you tell me about private schools and IEPs? They have special needs programs.
I can't, because private schools are not required to follow IDEA, nor do they receive funding for it. So I've had many clients over almost 3 decades take their child to private school. I have never had any of them yet be happy with the end result. So. Somebody just said, what do I think of SPED funding and policy reform from the 89th legislature that was just passed in Texas? I think it's a great start. I think it's a really great start. And we're already working with people to write new bills for the next session. But yeah, we have more funding for special education, more money for teachers, and I think it's a start.
You said you do 500 IEP meetings a year.
Yep.
How many is that per day?
A lot. It just depends. I mean, it just depends whatever the day is. So some days I have 3 IEP meetings. Some days I have 5. Some days, some meetings are 15 minutes. We're going to log on and add a new goal. Some meetings are a beating and for 2.5 hours long. So during a school year, full-time advocates have a lot of IEP meetings.
Someone asked, where can I find the link?
Yeah, just send us an email, advocate@specialeducationacademy.com. Elena, can you put that in there? Advocate@specialeducationacademy.com, or fill out the orange box and send us a message and we'll get you the link for this summer sale.
Is it better for elementary resource teachers to pull students one-on-one or a small group or push in? Thoughts?
I mean, they're 3 totally different things. So, I mean, it depends on what the student needs. It certainly depends upon what the schedule of services page. What is the app called? The app is called Special Education Academy. Special Education Academy. Download the app. Everything Special Education, Boss Special Education Academy is all there.
What was the 2-day live a prerequisite for?
So the 2 days is the 2-day intensive, however you take it, is a prerequisite if you want to do the mastermind. So you can do the mastermind one-on-one, or you can do the group mastermind that starts July 27th. But you have to have already had have at least purchased the 2-day, because we do not discuss anything from the 2-day in the mastermind.
Can I ask for a homebound school for non-medical?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be medical. It just has to be initiated from a physician, a medical physician. So it could be emotional. That's a medical need. Yeah.
I've decided to become a school SLP, and it will be my first year. Any advice for me from you?
Can you give us a secret passcode to ASHA? You can just smuggle me into an ASHA conference. I would put on a dark wig and be quiet. I would love to know all the things, but language is such an important piece of all of our worlds. Everything that we get in life is based upon our ability to successfully communicate with others. So thank you for serving kiddos.
Tell me the name of the app again.
Special Education Academy.
Do you think schools take advantage of parents' lack of knowledge in an IEP?
Say it with me. Yeah. And I don't even think they're taking advantage of parents' lack of knowledge. I think most school personnel think that they know better than the parent. I think the school thinks that they are the ones that are teaching the child. I often think that they think that they're doing the parent a favor. And that is based upon no training and or poor training.
If my child is denied special education with autism and now has increasing elopement, what would you recommend I do?
That we have an emergency meeting to look again at his need for special education. We can come to the table at any time and look at the need for special education without doing new testing. It's a committee decision.
Oh, several people said they love your cup.
Oh, my cup runneth over. Oh, yeah.
Yes, it does.
It's called Swig. Swig. Yeah. And it actually just has whole milk in it right now.
Wow.
Because you could never have enough protein, right?
Correct. It keeps you full.
Yes.
Our principal does not allow us to speak Spanish to our English language learners. Is this legal?
You know, it is summer. It would be good to go to your local Dollar Tree and get a bunch of pool noodles. And when somebody like that says that, I would just whack-a-mole them. Because obviously, they are not on the planet. You know what? As a college dropout, maybe this is something they taught you in college when you got your degree in principling. But please, 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 people.
What is a digital bundle?
So we sell digital products on our website. Those are products that we've recorded. So you can purchase them to be resources for you at any time. So with your 50% off coupon that's good between June 23rd and June 30th of 2025, you could purchase one digital product or you could purchase a bundle of products.
Do they have to do an evaluation if you ask?
They have to consider it.
Let's see. Do you think every county should have an accountability department for the school system?
I do. It's called me. Yeah. So no, we just need to follow the law. Why do we need to have somebody at our school district to make us follow the law that we're already obligated to follow? That's goofy. That's why we're working at the state and federal level to have an enforcement mechanism added to IDEA.
My school says they do not do evaluations over the summer. However, we have had relatives that have had testing, but it's a different school district. Is this?
They're not required to do evaluations when we are not in school days. But depending on how you communicate, you can get that process started. But yeah, they're off during the summer, just like teachers are off during the summer. So if there's nobody there to evaluate, you certainly want it to be done by somebody that's in the campus.
What are your thoughts on testing competency over product?
Testing competency over product? I don't think I understand what that means.
I think they mean testing competency versus what they can produce in a class?
Well, those are both important data points as we consider the unique circumstances of the student with disability.
For your 2-day intensive advocate training, what consumable materials will the participants be provided? Are there take-homes?
Oh my, are there take-homes? You're going to need an 18-wheeler. You're going to hear this just by the first day at lunch. I promise you by the first day at lunch, you will have had more information than you've ever learned anywhere. You just will. But yes, there are pages and pages of resources. Additionally, you will have, I talk really fast. And so if you printed out the recording, there's more information there than you could ever learn in a lifetime.
Get a good night's sleep, eat your Wheaties, and bring some Tylenol.
Yeah.
Because your head's going to explode with knowledge. A special education administrator held an IEP meeting without me, the case manager, over summer break. What can I do when I inherit the new IEP?
I certainly would try to talk to the last people that served the student.
What can I do if there's an untrained teacher teaching kids with moderate disabilities in summer school?
You can file a state complaint. So we have a great digital product on our website of how to file an effective state complaint.
Are teacher requirements different for ESY?
Well, ESY is extended school year, so it is solely for children with disabilities. So they would need to be people that could work on the IEP.
Can you talk about why CPS would be an appropriate solution for children with behavioral needs? I don't understand.
Yeah, so it's not a solution, it's an intervention, right? So there are children that are not being protected in schools, whether they are the child with a disability or the other children. And if we wait sometimes for the school to intervene, sometimes schools don't intervene. They just allow kiddos that are highly dysregulated. And it's our job as people, as advocates, as parents, as neighbors, to protect a child, even the child that needs to have a higher level of support based on their disability. And at some point, that is our only option to trigger intervention for a child that's fully dysregulated but not being supported properly at a school.
Excellent. Do teachers have to follow a 504 plan? My child states that they sit him in the front of the classroom, and that's the only accommodation they are following.
Yeah, so if they're not following the 504 plan, they're violating your child's civil rights. A 504 plan is a civil rights plan.
Can a general education teacher refuse to attend an ARD meeting?
Well, there needs to be a general ed teacher to have a convened IEP meeting in Texas. And so we would need a general ed teacher to be one of the participants so we could have the IEP meeting.
I need help. I've been fighting for 2 years. Was recently diagnosed with autism, and I'm trying to reinstate my IEP. How do I make this happen?
So it sounds like you're a minor, so I couldn't give you any recommendations on that. But certainly reach out to your parents to see if they can get support from an advocate. We have a team of them, and then we can go from there.
Have you heard of having accommodations for ODD in an IEP?
Again, if the acuity of your disability is such that you have ODD, right, that you fall under the DSM-5 criteria. So this is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the DSM-5. You can get this book also on our bookshelf. If this is your disability, you need more than accommodations. So it's important that we have the right plan, a 504 plan, or an individualized education program. But yes, there's no teaching in a 504. So our job in special ed is to teach a child strategies to self-manage their disability. I can't do that under a 504.
Is the book we download free and then we get the coupon as well?
Yes, that's it. That's it. You got it. Yeah. So there'll be directions. Our manager will send you directions on how to do that.
What is the next step if the settlement agreement is not followed? I'm in California.
So it depends on who did the settlement. So was the settlement done by a mediator? Was the settlement done between the parties in the school district? Was the settlement part of a due process hearing procedure? So whoever governed that is the one in charge of implementing it. So if it was a state administration hearing officer, you would reach out to them. If it was a state mediator, you reach out to them. If it was a state written complaint, you would reach out to the state investigator.
Did I see something get changed with OCR? Can you talk about it with specificity around that?
So I believe OCR is now moved over to HHS. That's the only knowledge that I have so far, just when you type it in. They haven't called me. I'm sure they're going to call me, during their lunch break and go, Karen, we'd like to give you an update. But when we have an update, we should have more in July. We come back from DC about kind of where the entities are being realigned in the federal government.
I believe I am in a different time zone than you.
Okay.
The academy is Monday at 8 o'clock. What time zone is that?
8 p.m. Central.
Okay. Is there anything specific you can recommend adding to an IEP for elopement? What words would I use to give them a clue?
That's funny. I'm glad you said it and I didn't. Give them a clue. That should be first page. Get a clue. So if we're having behaviors that impede his learning and learning of others, first we need to have a robust FBA, a functional behavior assessment. And then based upon that, we need to write about a behavior intervention plan.
Let's see. This is too far. My son is 3. He needs speech therapy, but the school said he doesn't qualify. But he is getting it already signed, the IEP. What else can I do?
So he's getting speech therapy privately? Is that what you were saying?
Good question.
Yeah. And you could be getting speech therapy, but not rise to the educational need of an IEP.
What is your take on blending SED behavior with students that have autism?
I mean, I don't have an opinion on it. It depends on kids are not eligibilities. So the law says that we write an IEP to enable them to make progress in light of their unique circumstances. So an eligibility doesn't tell me about those circumstances, right? I could have 4 boys that were 8 years old that had autism, and their characteristics of their autism, right, are going to be very different. So we educate them based upon the characteristics and their unique circumstances.
That book looks pretty heavy.
This book weighs 742,000 pounds. Like, you do not want to put this in your carry-on when you're at the airport. That reminds me, we need to make sure that Cindy or Elena brings these 2 books to Melbourne. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And then Rachel can bring all the other books. We'll make her drive all the other books there in her minivan from Georgia.
What are we covering in the academy, boss?
Right now we're doing every page of the IEP.
It's spectacular.
Yeah, it'll be about 700 weeks long.
Can you speak on the significance of guidance from the Federal Department of Education regarding restraints?
Can I speak on the significance of it? So when OSEP, the Office of Special Education Program, sends out guidance, it's not really guidance. It's you do this. So we certainly want to make sure that we're doing restraints that are appropriate and that mitigate, the behavioral impact of a child that's dysregulated.
What are your thoughts on K-5 classrooms?
I think they're amazing. I don't know what your question. I need you to be more specific.
I have a couple of questions, but they do not fit in the sentences. How can I ask them?
You could join the academy where we answer questions. That would be either this way or join the academy.
Are there such things as direct messages?
And we get we have almost 1 million followers on 7 platforms. There would be no way that we would have the ability to answer all of those questions, unfortunately.
Should IEPs change when they're older? And what should I include? It seems like it's always the same stuff.
Yeah, it does seem like it's always the same stuff. So IEPs should change when the student's need changes. And that's one of the things that we really teach in the 2-day intensive.
Is there any guidance that addresses classroom ratios for a self-contained special education classroom?
There might be a state statute, an administrative code in your state, but not an IDA. So somebody wants to know how they can hire us or myself. Just send us an email to advocate@specialeducationacademy.com. Or you can fill out the orange box which says service at the bottom, and that will go straight to our office. Oh, somebody just said that this platform has been so helpful. You're greatly appreciated. Thank you. We appreciate you right back.
Yes. You said you were going to be in Florida. When is that?
July 19th and 20th for a 2-day in-person.
How would you feel if the school was trying to transition to general education from the special education room for a ASD level 2?
I'm not a fan of this level 1, level 2, level 3. If a child needs a different setting, it needs a different setting. Somebody said, have you ever had any clients in Dallas ISD? Oh, my love, have I had clients in Dallas ISD? I have. Yeah, let's take a moment and pray for Dallas ISD. Dear Lord, give them wisdom. Hallelujah. Yep. Big, 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 big district.
Let's see. What is the best state, in your opinion, to have a special education student educated in?
There's no such thing as a best state, because states are full of these things called people. And people either make special education amazing or they make it miserable.
How can I hire you for my child?
Sure, advocate@specialeducationacademy.com. And yes, I work with clients from sea to shining sea.
Yes. So that would mean, yes, you do work with clients from North Carolina.
Yes, I was just in North Carolina for a press conference in Washington, North Carolina. They made me stand in the easement, but I still looked good in the easement. And the police drove by. And so when I waved to the police when they drove by during the press conference, they just kept going. No, we're not going to stop we're not going to do a selfie. Nope.
And with heels.
Yeah, so we're probably about to do a press conference in the next 2 months in Raleigh, North Carolina, actually.
I do not feel comfortable with my child's school. I just do not like them. Am I able to transfer my child out? If so, how?
It's a tough situation. You can always ask for a transfer to another school, but that's not your decision. That's an administrative decision. And a different school may not rectify your concerns. I would work to try to have it resolved there.
Does the amount of time a teacher documents accommodations and goals differ?
Yep. So, the goal has to be worked on at least once a week, and accommodation has to be delivered RE, routinely and effectively. Loudoun County, Virginia. Have I advocated in Loudoun County? Oh, sweetie. These 2 lines right here, Loudoun County. Ugh. But it's beautiful there. You guys have the most amazing golf courses.
Let's see. Does ISS count towards the student's 10 days of suspension?
Well, ISS is suspension. I think you mean the 10 days of out of placement. So if they're suspended, they're out of placement. Whether it's in school, out of school, at Buc-ee's, Denny's, IHOP. Wouldn't it be great if we had out of school suspension at Buc-ee's? Nobody would come back, would they?
No, ma'am.
Never. Never.
Nor would we blame them. Is it legal for ESAs to stop services 2 weeks before school is out?
Not if I'm your advocate.
If I ask for a transfer do they have to provide transportation that is in his IEP?
Nope. That's part of the problem. The IEP is based upon the school that you're zoned to. When you ask for a transfer, you may be giving up a lot of rights.
Who can I complain to legally if a sped teacher had to be a one-to-one and not service any other students?
State complaint. State complaint. Somebody wants to know where I'm from. I'm from the great state of Texas.
Is there a law for a percentage of IEP students in a co-taught class? For example,
Nope.
22
Nope.
IEP students.
No. 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 Did I say no?
You did.
Okay, it was no. Yeah.
Is it legal for an instructional coach to have access to an IEP?
Well, I hope they have access to an IEP. You would be stunned. I received a phone call today from a whistleblower that we have coming up in a couple weeks, and she's been in charge of the bus system for special education for 6 years, and nobody has ever seen an IEP. And she's in charge of special education busing for 6 years in a monster school district, like 11 high schools. Make it make sense.
What is the difference between placed versus promoted in elementary school?
Yeah, place means that you didn't meet the requirements to move to the next grade, but we placed you there. Promoted means you met all the state expectations, and congratulations, we're promoting you to the next grade. Like, I've been promoted. I have been placed as a special education boss. I was just placed here. Did you know that?
Thank you, Lord.
I placed myself. I voted. It was just me.
Can a school request you hold a kindergartner back before they even start school?
Well, you can't be held back if you didn't participate in something. Yeah. It's time. So we'll take 2 more questions.
Okay. I'm a special education teacher, and even I had to hire an advocate. I was shocked at old school teacher ways. Thank you for doing what you do to bring light to it all.
Oh, thanks, you guys. We love teachers. We love us some teaches.
Yes. Can you deny enrollment in ESY if there is not regression without recoupment in a critical skill area?
So ESY has 2 prongs. Documented regression with a profound amount of time to recoup a skill, or concern for loss of critical skills. So to meet the requirements for ESY, it has to be on one of those 2 criteria. So we love you. Remember, listen. If you guys want 50% off anything in our store, Special Education Academy, any of our digital products, not one-on-one coaching, but any digital product that we have a coupon from June 23rd till June 30th. All you need to do is email us at advocate@specialeducationacademy.com and we'll walk you through the process. You're just to download a book that we're supporting for a friend of ours, and we'll send you a coupon that you can use for any 50% off any of our products, including the 2-day virtual. Half off the 2-day virtual. And remember, that's our prerequisite for the mastermind. Remember, when we get it right for the child, we get it right for everybody. We'll see you guys in the next training.